Well, here's the latest iteration. This works well. Now I made these fingers here sort of longer. That's so that when you pull bolt through here 4mm, it will has a big chance to bend, because I found it too short actually to actually bend. And I've put some, well, actually just star shapes there, and the matching corresponding star shapes on the heads. That's so that when you do grip the bolt by tightening it up 4mm hex bolt, it has an indent there for the head. And I'm going to be using what's known as a nail nut on this side. I can turn and put a washer and a nail nut on there, and that will squeeze that in and tighten up against like this part here. Now that might not print out all that well, but it's just to a certain extent roughing it up. So don't sand that side or this side, or likewise corresponding sides on whichever one of those you're going to pick. But all the others might want sanding a little bit, filing a bit. Same with the hole, might want filing a bit, so it might want a little bit tweaking. So this is the head for my LiveCam here, Creative LiveCam, as a hole for the bolt head to sort of countersink in there. And here's one, well, basically I've just plugged that hole, as you can see, and you're going to have to fasten your webcam to that, because I don't know your mounting method at all. You might want to say drill a hole in for normal tripod thread or whatever. I'm unsure of your webcam. I've shortened this because on my printer this was catching against the Borden feeding tube. I have a tube going into my feeder, actually feeding into it as well as feeding out. I have one feeding in, and when the carriage went high up and to the left, the other one was a bit like deeper than this, and that was catching, so I've shortened the length of that. So this is upside down, this one. This is printed the correct way up, that way. That's the way it will go up. This is upside down, and that's for the teeth on my timing belt. Notice they do have slots, so I can snug them down, and then I can squeeze them in a bit, because there's some flexibility in these shafts that will squeeze together, and tighten the belt up finally before tightening it anymore. That's basically it. I look around there, so there's a standard head, if you like, and there's the one with a hole in for Creative LiveCam. I think it is known as. I'll put the title down here. This is going to be a new iteration of this part, this hinged carriage mount for a webcam. This is to fit my carriage, my timing belt. These are sort of has slots in for the timing belt here. 5mm pitch, and it's hinged. Well, I haven't got the bolts in here because I'm using it on something else. This has been through quite a few iterations to try and bring about improvements. There's actually, in a way, one fitted to the carriage at the moment with a webcam on, but this was a flat, straight, no hinge on it, and I had to bend it at an angle to actually point down at the nozzle. So with this hinge method, you can adjust the hinges. So when I've been going through the iterations, I've just been printing out the hinge parts basically to save time and not have to print it all out. And this is the latest one. Let's turn it around this way because this is the way, this is the part I'm printing out now. Basically I've made these fingers here quite a bit longer. That's so that, well, on this one I found that this was quite thick, and when I tightened up this bolt here, this nail nut thing, this wasn't 3D printed, the nail nut, neither was a nut obviously, but when I tightened it up, it would not really tighten it up. The plastic was too strong, too thick in a way to squeeze it. So the idea there is you can put it at an angle, and it has some roughness on here. There are some faults in this one. When I printed it out, I was doing some other experimentation at the same time, but came out for testing. But idea, you can put it at the angle you want, tighten up the nail nut, and it will basically like lock in that position. So there's got some bits of roughness on the edges just inside there, so hopefully that will grip. Well, I know it will grip because I've done a test on this piece. Now I've also put, you can't probably see it here, but there's a hex indent there. I haven't got an hex bolt, sorry. I haven't got a hex bolt, I've only got this Allen bolt that will fit, 4mm. So you probably see the one that's on the printer. Now these can also have slots in. I'll show you on there. Can you see the slots there? So you can snug them down a bit, and then, well, I can anyway, and squeeze them in and then do the final tighten. So it'll tighten up the belt. So this is the almost original one I did, pretty flat, but as I say, I had to bend this plate up to point the webcam down at the nozzle. So it's another iteration of this in a way, for a hinged version that you can tilt and lock at the angle you want, hopefully. This is that headpiece over there at the back that the webcam will mount to. I've also made this plate a bit smaller because I found that when this goes up, the carriage goes up, it actually knocks, this is like a tube that feeds into my feeder up here. It actually knocks this tube, and it's coming left, and its carriage is quite high, as this is too far back. So I've made it smaller. So that's going to be about the new size here. There is a hole in here for my webcam, a Creative LiveCam I think it is, and like an indent thing to put a bolt in and put my webcam in. But when I post the links online, I'll do one without the hole in, so you'll either have to design the hole in yourself, or I don't know what type of mounting method you might have. So I can't really do that if you're going to print this out. I can't remember the distance between here. It's about 50mm, something like that, between the two balls. Well, the 4 balls it is actually, on the top there for the timing belt. pause the video soon. Probably come back in about an hour. I think this is about a 2 hour 35 minute, well 45 minutes you might as well say, when you at the heat bed temperature to come to temperature, etc., the nozzle to come to temperature. So this is ABS, 245 on the nozzle, 65 on the heat bed. Printing onto borosilica glass there. The borosilica glass has this put on. Seems to work well for me, so long as I put, you know, don't leave it on too long. I can do a couple of prints, maybe 3 or 4 prints before I have to replace it. Just wipe it off with a cloth, damp cloth, and apply some more. Tend to put mine on, well, I put it on cold when the bed's cold, and I tend to put on quite thick. I allow the colour to vanish because the colour disappears. It's got purple colour to this. It does say disappearing purple there, as you see. Looks a bit blue in the camera, but it's more purple in real life. And the colour vanishes, and then I'll go to print on it. So it's Elmer's glue stick on this borosilica glass, which has a heat pad under here. That heat pad is set to 65 degrees. E3D version 6 clone, 0.4 nozzle on there. Got this 2-in-1 fan shroud here. Has a fan on the right hand side, blowing air through like some slots here on the other side. It does have a fan on the left that can blow around this channel. There's a channel around here, goes just about all around the print, and blow air down. But that fan is turned off because I'm printing in ABS. This is a BL Touch for doing auto leveling, a big thumbs up. The borosilica glass gets a big thumbs up. The heat pad gets a big thumbs up. The Elmer's glow stick gets a big thumbs up. So there are quite a few thumbs up there. Okay, I'm going to pause the video now. It's coming up to 20 minutes almost. One hour 35 minutes. This is set to 80% infill, by the way, to give it strength. That doesn't seem to add a lot to the time and cool anyway. Okay, going to pause the camera. I guess there'll be about another hour left, I think. Well, there we are, finished. 2 hours 15 minutes. You can see the hole, that is for my particular webcam, LiveCam, Creative. Letting the bed cool down a little bit more. Just cool down a little bit. If you hear any deep humming noise, it's the Y stepper motor because it's having to move very slowly in relation to the X carriage here. That's because there is sort of an angle on these. See, there's like an angle, so the Y has to move forward or back depending on that as it's moving next. Speaking, that's the deep humming. If you can hear it, I don't know. So this is the main body of this hinged Curve. Says this is going to be a 3 hour 45 minutes. That's including well, I'm adding 10 minutes on there to allow for bed to heat up. I'll be putting this camera on pause for a lot of this. It's just doing the skirt basically. One hour 16 minutes. You can see the sort of webcam on the original bracket there. I'll pause the video. I might even wait until it's completely finished. I haven't decided yet. Well, that was 3 hours 45 minutes. Yes, spot on by my calculations. Cover said it was going to be 3 hours 35 minutes, but I have to add on 10 minutes for getting the bed to temperature 65 and the nozzle to its temperature of 245 for this ABS print. Oops. Now sometimes I like the bed to even cool down a bit more. This is just an old paint scraper, wallpaper scraper. I filed down the sharp corners so the curve, put a little bit of a sharper edge on here, not too sharp, I mean it won't cut me. So easy it comes off. Sometimes I might want to cool down a little. Oh no, there we go. All one piece, the skirt there. Few slight strings. So there's a hex cut out here for 4mm hex balls. Sorry about that, I've got to put the other light on. So there's hex book insert sort of there. It's for 4mm bolt, the hole there. I might want drilling out a bit or filing out. Well, I've sanded, well, filed the inside edges. Don't sand like this edge here, well, file I should say, or the edge, because those are deliberately roughened with like a star shape. So you might just see the star shape there. And you want them to actually grip. But the other ones are filed. I do have this 4mm Allen bolt. I don't really tighten that up because it'll the head will dig in this insert for the hex bolt there. The idea is to have a washer and this not printed plastic nail nut that you can grip, and that'll squeeze them in. That's one reason I made these longer. So that's the other one actually. That was a test piece. Just a little bit longer. Goes like fingers in a way than an earlier version. Just so it's got more squeeze. That's partly, well, that's why there's indents are here to thinning it and make it also squeeze a bit. And when you tighten that up, this, if you have a hex bolt there, which is designed for, that'll dig into the hole in there, so it won't just turn, and it'll tighten that up, squeeze it, and it'll lock it in, well, whatever position you want to put your camera in, the best position for your camera basically. That is the basic idea. It'll go more like that actually, I think. Actually go like that, and then the camera points there and points down at the nozzle. Okay, so for my webcam that's the right way up. Like an indent there for the bolt head through to my Creative LiveCam.